welcome back to the Big Show. My name is Mateo. I am drinking a beer. Yeah, alright. I can already hear you now. You're like, Matt, you got a mustache. It's true. And I'll tell you the reason I am wearing this illustrious mustache is because I've been playing a lot of Star Wars, The Old Republic. And I've created a smuggler, and my smuggler looks like this. And I've been getting a lot of compliments on that stash because me and him, we kind of look alike a little bit. Alright, and agreed, his stash is a little bit longer and grown out, and it has this nice little part in the middle that I don't have because, again, mine's not quite that long. I thought in honor of my character on Star Wars that I would go ahead and just fully realize the mustache in real life. You know, ultimately, as I look at it, I think it just makes me look kind of old. Because there's just enough gray that it just doesn't quite... I don't know. Whatever. I think I look like a school teacher or something. Like a school teacher from when I was a kid who looked old. This is the thing, is I think I look more like Ed Rooney than I do my cool smuggler on Star Wars The Old Republic. You know, the funny thing is that a lot of people would think, hey, I bet you're a Luke guy, aren't you? You're kind of the nerd who blossomed, and now you're, you know, this amazing person that you are. But, you know, back in the day, it was really Han. Han was the guy that I wanted to be. Han always had the, you know, the really cool comeback. And then he also had the nice sarcasm. Well, not everybody thank me at once. Look, flying through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy. So glad you're here to tell us these things. Chewie, take the professor in the back and plug him into the hyperdrive. You know, but he also had that nice little romantic, fun, like old school Hepburn Tracy relationship going on with the princess, and I like that too. You know, it's kind of like I always look for somebody in the girls that I date who can be, you know, sassy. I don't know if sassy is the word I'm looking for, but you know, they can be sarcastic and they can be fun and, you know, witty, and we can have really good banter. You know, like that's all part of it for me. It's good times. But that'll be enough of that. Let's get to the beer of the week, shall we? It's the beer of the week! Decided to go with a delicious one this week. Arrogant Bastard Ale. And as you notice by right here, it says you are not worthy. Most people are not worthy of this beer. This is a ridiculously amazing beer. And it too, much like our last one, 7.2%. I have a feeling if I drink this beer the entire time I'm filming this, we're going to have some real fun. Anyway, so here's what this looks like. Doesn't look as dark as some of the beers that we've been hitting lately, does it? No, it looks really nice and light, and look at that foam, the way it builds up like that, huh? But, taste this, and guess what happens? Beer's like, whoop-ah! I'm f***ing arrogant. That's the way this beer is. A very hearty, pretty simple. It's just, you know, water, barley, what they call aggressive hops, and then their own yeast strain, and abundant arrogance. That's what they say it's made of. And it's a great beer. I really do like it. It's one of my favorites. If you're like a Sierra Nevada fan, if you're a really heavy, bittery, hoppy deliciousness, if that's your kind of beer, then definitely this is one you got to pick up. I mean, it's full on arrogance. People would, you know, I've known people who have had red wine, and they've said the same thing about certain kinds of red wine. Is, ooh, that's just like super arrogant. This is definitely the same thing. One of my favorites. Again, 7.2% beer, so it should be more than delicious. So, Valentine's Day is here. Well, you know, it's interesting because back in the day, obviously, there was a man named Saint Valentine. Now, what little we do know about Saint Valentine comes down to this. He was a man who was going around marrying people in the Christian way back in the, you know, 200s. This is, of course, back in the day of the Holy Roman Empire. And, of course, they didn't like Christians back in the day. Why? Because that was not their belief. They, of course, believed in the Roman gods. So they would throw all sorts of Christians into huge pits with giant lions, and then they would be attacked. It's a big thing in the Bible. You should read it sometime. A lot of that happens. But St. Valentine would go around, and he'd be administering last rites to soldiers. He'd be marrying them, and this got him thrown in jail. But St. Valentine, being the good Christian man that he was, decided that he was then also going to try and heal, which he successfully did, the daughter of his prisoner. course, he did this, and even still, he was executed. But he left a note for the daughter that all said, "From your Valentine." And of course, that's where that comes from. So, somewhere later, 14th century, we got a guy named Chaucer. You might have heard of him before. He did the Canterbury Tales. And, of course, Chaucer's first words on the subject of Valentine's Day was written in the Parliament of Fools in 1382. This is what Chaucer wrote. "For this was St. Valentine's Day, when every bird cometh there to choose his mate." This poem was written to honor the first anniversary of the engagement of King Richard II of England to Anne of Bohemia. When they were married 8 months later, they were both only 15 years old. Hence, the lovebirds. Two other interesting literary mentions of Valentine's Day. The earliest surviving Valentines in English appears to be in the Passed On Letters, written in 1477 by Marjorie Brews to her future husband John Paston, writing, quote, "My right well beloved Valentine." Valentine's Day is also ruefully mentioned by Ophelia in Hamlet, Act 4, Scene 5, when she says, "Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day." Interesting thing about that now is that "tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day" is not actually in iambic pentameter. So, of course, her descent into madness goes against the normal rhyme scheme that we see in most Shakespeare's things, which, of course, is iambic pentameter. So, looking at that, we can definitely see the... We weren't talking about this. We were talking about Valentine's Day. It got commercialized. People went from instead writing out handwritten notes to those that they loved and cared for and liked, and instead mass market greeting cards started being printed. That's as early as the late 1800s, boys and girls. And from then, it's just got more and more commercialized. So, that brings us now to here, February 14th, 2013. What does that mean for us? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? Now, I'm not necessarily one of those people who hates Valentine's Day. Like, I get it. Yes, it's been commercialized. And yes, we should, throughout the rest of the year, know other ways to tell the people that we are in love with that we love them. That's obvious, right? But if you strip down the commercialization of Valentine's Day, what it really brings about is a day that, hey, let's go ahead and like love. Let's everybody put a big cheer in for love. Let's everybody tell everybody that they love that, hey, we love them. Now, of course, this brings about bad things, but, because there are always people who are alone on Valentine's Day, and how sad it is to be alone on Valentine's Day, and hey, I'll agree to that. Like, nobody likes to be alone on Valentine's Day. We've all been alone on Valentine's Day, but, there's a lot of days of the year where it sucks to be alone. Christmas is a day when it sucks to be alone. Thanksgiving is a day when it sucks to be alone. There are lots of days of the year it sucks to be alone. Most of the year actually sucks to be alone. If you can't share your life with somebody, and I don't even mean this in like a boyfriend-girlfriend way, or husband-wife, or, significant other and significant other. If you are not sharing your life with your friends, with your family, then you are obviously in a sad place, and I understand that. But hey, you gotta get out there. You gotta start meeting people. You gotta start talking to people. You gotta start doing whatever it is that normal people do to meet people, because if you're not sharing your life with people, then hey, your life is not nearly as exciting as it should. So, in this modern times, a lot of people aren't in touch with their feelings. A lot of people, especially if you're from the Midwest or whatever, you just assume the people who you're around with all the time know how you feel about them. So, why not a day that'll celebrate it? Yeah, it sucks. Let's not have to buy roses and all the other junk I was talking about earlier. Let's just come up with a easy, delightful way to just say, hey, all you people who I spend lots of my time with, and all my friends and all my family, I love you guys. Thanks a lot for being around. And for all of you who watch all my videos all the time, I appreciate you as well. Well, hey, that's all I got today. Ugh. That's really good. Hey, mustache guy, you should shave your mustache. So you should just shave it. Because you look like you're like some 70s porn guy or something. Now give me that look. What do you want to do? Fight about it? Well, my name's Matteo, and I Strength is beer.